All right, good morning. I'm Mark Baldone from Drift Enthusiast Magazine. I'm sitting here with your Sugo FDJ2 winner, Daniel Messmer. How are you doing today?
We're doing all right. I didn't do too much celebrating last night. We were very tired, so we had an early night. But yeah, it's good. It's good. Feels good.
Congrats on your way, man. Congrats on your way. That was a big win. All right, so tell me a little about your team and where you're from.
Look, our team is mostly from Australia. So the boys are with me. We got Neve, who's from New Zealand. We got Fausto, Steve, which are from Japan, but they're Brazilian. So yeah, we got a fairly big team going, and yeah, all good bunch of blokes and girls. So super happy.
Yeah. So tell me a little about your car, man. This thing's a beast.
All right. So here we have behind us the Sugo Experience S15. Just went a massive refresh between round 1 and 2. We went quite nuts on it, pulled a lot of weight out. It's a 2JZ G-Force dog box, winner's quick change car, so it's pretty standard issue around the world in drifting. But the combo works, so why change a combo that works, you know? So we're super happy with the way the car actually performed this round. Last round, we were still working out issues with the setup of the car because it was pretty well everything was brand new, so this round, I think we nailed it on the head, and this track really suits the car. It's built for these kind of bigger tracks. So.
For sure. And you mentioned that you were having a little bit of boost issues in the beginning of the round. Let me know about that, man.
Oh, man, that was crazy. So we actually drove 14 hours to go get the car tuned to use a dyno and get it tuned by TM Labo. Really great tuner here in Japan. And he works for the Good Ride team. And yeah, we got it tuned, made awesome power. We haven't had this power for last year, the first two rounds, so we got quite a bit of power in the car now. And then on Wednesday, the day before, we just wanted to do a couple laps at Abisu just to make sure the cars are right after the tune, and we ended up doing a turbo on the second lap, so that was quite stressful. And then we had to find a turbo in Japan, a Borg Warner EFR turbo. Couldn't find one new, ended up finding one. Mikey Racing had one from his championship winning car last year.
Nice.
So we drove all the way to Saitama to go get it. Bang, stayed up late at night, got it in, and then we were here for practice on Thursday morning. So
nice.
Yeah, pretty tough going weekend, but it all paid off in the end, right?
Yeah. And then how does that affect you mentally when you're getting ready to race and you know you're having an issue with the car? How does that affect you mentally, and how do you prepare for that going onto the track?
Oh, look, to be fair, I think it gives you a different mentality of, look, we've had a hard time, let's just go for it and see what happens. So I feel like you kind of have a little bit less pressure on your shoulders. So I think it worked out this time, apart from like the sleep, the lack of sleep we've had for the past 2 months trying to get this car sorted and building it and stuff like that. But I think it definitely made us drive harder, 100%.
And then what about Sugo suits your racing style so well?
Oh man, Sugo is my kind of track. I love it. It's big, it's fourth gear, it's speed. I find that everything slows down for me on the bigger tracks. Your hand movements aren't as fast. You can, you're not having to whip the car so many different ways. The left foot braking and stuff like that really suits my style from what I've been used to driving in Japan driving in Australia versus Japan, which are a lot of small tracks, a lot of quick transitions, little snaps and stuff here and there. And that's something I've had to adapt and learn. So yeah, coming here feels like I'm, back at home nearly, apart from the elevation. The elevation here is wild. That downhill run, that is so steep. The entry, it ramps up super fast right at the end. The car ends up, once you adapt to that, it just kind of feels like a big open track.
Yeah. And then you spoke, you come from Australia. What is the driving distance? I knew you said it was like more technical. Is it more technical in Australia, or is it more technical in Japan?
No, it's a lot more technical in Japan. Like I was saying, the tracks are big in Australia, so we don't have the smaller cut style tracks. It's more most of the ones we're allowed to drift on are big tracks, just like this. So I wouldn't say it's more. It's hard to say. I'm used to it, so I'm not saying it's more. It feels better for me, so I think it's less technical. But I know for a lot of the Japanese drivers, this is harder because of the speed and commitment you need to carry in, and then to be able to throw max angle at a track like this and have that speed behind you is, you're flirting with the edge of the car, and I think it's harder, but I'm more suited to it, so I don't. Yeah, I like it.
Gotcha. And then, what tracks are you looking forward to around the rest of the schedule?
So there's only one more track I'm actually looking forward to, and that is Okayama, another big open track. I like Suzuka. That was another good one at the start of the year, but the rest have been like quite small tracks, and it's hard to get this thing moving on those kind of tracks. Yeah. So Jay-Z got torque, so it's not as fast. Where on this track, it really accelerates and it's really fast, so I really enjoyed it.
And then with your driving style, I noticed you do have a lot of power behind this car. So you would think that you would like to lead because you could just pull away from people. Would you actually like to chase? Is that correct?
Yeah. Who doesn't like to chase? It's just like, it's one of my favorite things to do. You got something, it's like a dog with a bone. You're just trying to catch him all the time. You just want to mimic him. Your reaction time has to be, tenfold as fast. It's more exciting. There's more risk involved because you can just drive straight through his door and wreck both cars. So it's great.
Yeah, and then finally, what are your future aspirations, man? I know you come out here to Japan and race in FDJ2. Do you have aspirations for FDJ1? Or do you want to go to the United States and try to race out that way? What's in the plans for the future?
So my plan, ever since I started in Australia, was to make it to FD USA. I've always wanted to do it, and the reason why I came here was one, because obviously it's a much, much bigger drift scene. The sponsors on board is absolutely crazy. We don't have this kind of level in Australia, so you got to drive with good drivers to kind of build your level up. And in Australia, there's some really, really good drivers, but the problem is a lot of those good drivers only do 1 to 2 seasons because it's hard to kind of get those sponsors on board. The drifting scene is not that big, so I wish it was better in that aspect, because there are some awesome drivers in Australia. Some of probably the best in the world, but they just can't get out of the country. So there's maybe a handful of people that have ever kind of done a high level event outside of Australia, and there's if more drivers out of Australia could do it, they would kill it 100%. Some of the best drivers in Australia, I reckon, just without the sponsorships and stuff like that to push them. And Japan is one of our stepping stones to get to FD USA. Obviously, it's a big jump to move into the USA with visas, logistics of it. Japan is not that far. It's only an 8-hour flight from most big cities in Australia versus the USA, which is, massive. So fingers crossed, FDJ1 next year. We're looking pretty good for that right now. We're coming second in the series. I need to come in the top 10 to be able to get my FDJ1 license. So we're looking good for that. And yes, hopefully do a couple of seasons of FDJ here, build up my skills a bit better, because I've got a long way to go.
Awesome.
And then hopefully pick up some good support and sponsors to kind of push us through into FD USA. Also, I need to get my license in FD USA. I think it's top 3 in FDJ1 that get their FD USA license. So just got to keep working up through those levels.
Progressing it out. Hey, man, I really do want to appreciate it. I want to appreciate you letting me hang out with your team this weekend. You and your crew, they are awesome, dude. Your whole team with Fausto and everything, there's a big old family. I really do appreciate it from the bottom of my heart for letting me hang out with y'all. You're a good friend now of mine. I cannot wait to do more photography for you and do more interviews with you as you progress through these series. And next time, all I have to say is you need to bring a kiddie pool like Daigo.
Dude, we needed that kiddie pool all weekend. I was looking over and the boys dude, can we just go jumping? I'm like, I really want to. But no, thank you so much, man. Thanks for the photography and stuff like that. It really means a lot. My socials have been blowing up with people saying like they've really stepped it up this game, and that's because of you. And you know, thank you to the magazine for kind of trying to help. Like this helps me a lot
For sure.
Media support and stuff like that. Getting my name out there, it's going to help me massively. So I can't thank you guys enough. You're a nice bloke. Glad to have you here.
Oh, for sure.
Taking pictures. Your pictures are so good. I love them, bro.
I appreciate it.
But no, thank you.
And that's one thing, kind of continue with it, is you mentioned the social media game. That's what I noticed. Some drivers really lack in social media presence. And in today's day and age, you have to have a social media presence. And you have to have those videographers and those photographers following your team to get that content out there to expand your reach, because nobody's going to market yourself better than yourself. And that's what I truly believe. That's why I love what I do is photography. I hardly ever charge for any of my photography because I love just giving people high quality content for themselves to help them market themselves.
Yeah, that's a hard one. That's probably one of the things I don't like about this day and age. I don't like the fact that you can't just be, you know, a good driver these days. You got to have the social media presence to kind of go with it. So that's something I've really struggled with in the years, and I thought I didn't really need. So this last couple of years, we've really stepped it up and trying to fix my speech and stuff like that. 2 years ago, dude, I couldn't do this. So I've been not practicing, but really like putting myself out there and trying to build myself into a modern day driver.
For sure. But your driving is phenomenal, man. Congrats on your win again, dude.
Thank you, dude.
And I can't wait to see you at the next round.
Awesome. Thank you,
Thank
bro.
you.
Cheers.